Hello everyone. This is Bea again from the WeGrow VA marketing team, and today we have another great guest who I'll be talking to about a topic that is just as great and impactful as him. So our guest for today is Stephen Liu. He is a program manager and public speaking coach, specifically helping out introverts to be more confident and get career opportunities. As an introvert himself, so he has a background in engineering and a whole slew of interesting knowledge that we're looking forward to discuss over our topic for today, which is titled An Introvert's Intro to a Thriving Career. So hello, Stephen. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing today, Bea?
I'm doing pretty good too. Thank you. So I kind of gave already a little bit about yourself, but of course it's different when it's coming from you. So why don't you tell us a bit more about yourself?
Sure. Thanks for doing that. So as Bea said, I have a full-time job as a program manager at Applied Materials. Applied Materials is a semiconductor company, and I'm part of the obsolescence management office, where we are creating and executing strategic initiatives to be more proactive about obsolescence and supply chain. And previously to that, I was working at Lockheed Martin. It's an aerospace and defense company. I was there for 7.5 years. I started as a systems engineer through 5 different positions there. Eventually became a project manager, and I was there for the last 2.5 years as a project manager, and then left and took my opportunity here at Applied Materials. But on the side, as Bea alluded to, I have been a career coach. I'm a public speaker. I've started creating LinkedIn content in 2017, and I'll share a little bit more about my journey later. But all the stuff on the side with creating LinkedIn content, posting weekly videos, sharing career advice, rebranding myself as a career coach. All this has been done on the side. I do it outside of work hours, but it's something I really, really enjoy doing because I want to help people succeed in their careers. I have a lot of lessons learned, a lot of experiences in my career that I want to share with people who need that help in their career as well. So I'm really passionate about career coaching, helping others, and especially with shy introverts, because I used to be a shy introvert, but now I know that you have to get out of your shell, you have to get out of your comfort zone to have opportunities come to you, and for you to get the right opportunities that you want. So that's a little bit about me.
Oh wow, Stephen, that's already like a chock full of stuff, interesting stuff about you. It really the thing that kind of like made a mark in my mind is 2017. You said that you started creating content on the side. So this whole you being a coach, as you said, mentioned, is something that you do on the side. And as we know that with anyone who has a full-time job, kind of like adding something to the side of their like schedule is like, kind of taxing, and it usually really comes from a place of passion, which obviously you show a lot. So I'm really curious about this 2017 thing, because as you mentioned, from an engineering background, and you've been in the workplace for a while. What was a turning point? What made you turn to thinking about producing content on LinkedIn, being a public speaker, and being a career coach? What was the change? Yeah.
Yeah. So it started in 2017. I set some goals for myself for the year. I wanted to accomplish X, Y, and Z this year. And to hold myself accountable, I decided to share my goals with as many people as possible. So I decided to publish a monthly article on LinkedIn where I share my goals and my progress towards them. So that was my way of holding myself accountable. And as I got to the end of 2017, I'm in that growth mindset, right? So, okay, I've done something monthly on LinkedIn. The obvious next progression is to do something weekly. But what can I do weekly? So I said, okay, I'm going to do weekly videos. That was around the time when LinkedIn videos started popping up. So now, okay, I will do weekly videos, but what are 52 things I can talk about? Because I'm such a planner. I decided that, well, I've been to a lot of presentations and seminars and have mentors, and I've taken a lot of notes through all these different conversations and presentations. I can, possibly come up with 52 things just from my notes. So that's what I did. I had a long list, and every single week I put a video, just selfie style, with my cell phone, and shared a career tip or advice, a piece of career tip or advice, either from my mentor, either from something I do, from a presentation, et cetera, et cetera. And I would admit, the first 25 videos were pretty bad. I was stuttering. I couldn't look at the camera. My voice was soft, and a lot of filler words and things like that. But as I continued with that, I called it a 52-week challenge. As I continued with that 52-week challenge, I started noticing my tendencies. I started getting more confidence in myself. My voice started becoming more bolder and more clear. And I went through all that in 2018. I completed my 52-week challenge, and I had so much fun with it that I decided to do it all over again in 2019. But I ran out of things to talk about because my list is gone. So I talked about what was relevant to me at the time, what was personal to me. I started a new job as a project manager. I was also doing grad school at night. So I talked a lot about what I was going through, talking about time management, stress management, how I study, how I balance work and school, things like that. And that really made my content very personable. And that's how I started building up an even larger following through that. In 2020, we had the pandemic, and everyone said, "Oh, you better come out of the pandemic better than when you went in." So I said that, okay, you know what? I've been informally coaching and mentoring everyone on LinkedIn through my videos. I might as well make it formal, do some one-on-one coaching. So I rebranded myself as a career coach, as a public speaker, and I've been doing that ever since. So I do coaching on the side. I do one-on-one coaching. I speak about a variety of topics. One of my most common topics is just about LinkedIn, how to maximize your use of LinkedIn. I've done presentations about how to gain confidence, how to get better at public speaking, how I talk. So just the culmination of the videos in the first couple of years led to where I am today. And I wouldn't have imagined being able to doing that right when I started my first monthly article, my first weekly video. It's just a progression and just continuing getting better and just building up confidence in myself to do the things that I'm doing now.
Wow, that is a lot. And it really shows the type of, I think just from that question and how you answered it, it showed a lot about you as a person. And obviously I can also kind of relate to a degree about wanting to get things planned out. I mean, a 52-week challenge. 52 weeks is a year, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a big commitment. And as mentioned earlier, you were are an introvert. And yeah, you kind of just kind of like picked yourself up and like said that you needed to commit to something, and you really committed. And I mean, look where you are now. But I wanted to also kind of follow up with like, well, there's no shade or that kind of thing, but like, how were you what was there a certain or specific thing that happened in order for your shyness, for you to break away from your shyness, that introversion?
Yeah, that's a great question there. And this is a second part of the story that I didn't mention. There are actually two things happening at the same time. So when I was working at Lockheed Martin, 2 years into the company, I applied and I interviewed for the Engineering Leadership Development Program. This is an early career job rotation, 3-year program to build future leaders for the company. So I applied and I interviewed and I wasn't selected. So I've asked the program manager for feedback, and he said, I want, you need more project management experience and you need more leadership experience. So I thought it was a little ironic because I want to get into the leadership development program to build up my leadership skills, and you're telling me I need more leadership experience. But anyways, so for the project management part, I went to go get my master's in engineering management. And then for the leadership part, I was thinking, well, I can't just go into my team and say, now I'm in charge. My lead has 25 years of experience. I can't just take over his job. So I was thinking, how can I get that leadership experience? At Lockheed Martin, we have these groups called employee research groups. They're focused on different minorities. So there's a women's group, a Latino, African American, Asian, LGBT, things like that. So I joined the Asian group. It's called PAN, or Professional Asian American Network. And I joined the group as the mentoring and professional development chair. In that role, I needed to organize and coordinate speed mentoring events and also speaker events where I bring in a speaker who talks about some sort of professional development topic. And in that role, I started getting a little more comfortable with being on stage, introducing speakers, facilitating a speed mentoring event, telling people to rotate, introducing all the mentors. So that really started building up, that really helped me build up confidence. And that gave me enough confidence to put myself on video, to do this 52-week challenge of videos. So that first failure of not getting selected into, okay, I need to go get a leadership role, that led to the weekly videos, which led me to do coaching. I also do a weekly LinkedIn live show now on top of the weekly videos. I interview different guests, just like what we're doing here. And yeah, it's just amazing. Just one failure led me to doing what I'm doing today. And long story short, I did get into that leadership development program the following year. I said, yep, I want to go get my master's, and I'm joined PAN as the mentoring professional development chair. So, those two basically got me the opportunity to be part of that leadership development program. That's how I was able to do 5 different jobs at Lockheed Martin.
I guess that really goes to show that when there's a will, there's a way. And
exactly.
Yeah, if you really want something, and if you are, I guess, quote unquote, rejected from something, there is still a different opportunity out there in order for you to get what you want, or for you to learn more from it. And as you mentioned, you did get it the next year.
Yeah.
That also shows a lot of growth,
Mm-hmm.
for you to try again and to, get accepted. So I wanted to go to your role as a career coach. So, and specifically, you are helping out introverts. And as we can see, the Stephen that I am talking to now is definitely a lot. Well, I guess we can, or if you would like to share, he's very different from the Stephen from years ago. Um, so, as a career coach for introverts specifically, what do you think are the hindrances to getting more work opportunities for an introvert?
Yeah, as an introvert, and again, there's nothing wrong with being an introvert or an extrovert, right? It's just your personality trait. I would say I'm still an introvert. It depends on the type of event that I'm at, right? Sometimes I don't like to talk to people. I just want to be by myself, right? So I am an introvert, but the former shy introvert, the former talks about the shy part. So now I always say yes to opportunities to speak, to coach, to mentor others, taking on new challenges, things like that. But to answer your questions about hindrances of work opportunities as an introvert, it's a couple things. So as an introvert, you're a little more shy, right? You're a little more reserved. You don't like talking to people. So that goes against you in 2 different ways, especially in the job market. First of all, you don't sell yourself as strongly as you do, right? You're a little more modest and reserved when it comes to job interviews. When they say, oh, what did you do on this project? Oh, you say, oh, our team did this, or my partner did this. So we don't tend to take that ownership of what we've done. So that was my lesson learned when I applied to that engineering leadership program, that when I was going through mock reviews, they were telling me, you have to say I, you have to say me. You are the person who did these roles and responsibilities and these accomplishments. And then the second part is, as an introvert, you don't like to talk to people. You don't like networking. Networking is a dirty word for you. But in the job market, you absolutely need to network. And it's not just like, oh, you have to be like the loudest person in the room. You have to go talk to every single person at this event. You just have to talk to 5 people, 3 people, a small amount, and really build those relationships with those people to deepen those relationships. And they will have you top of mind when certain opportunities come up. So you have to be comfortable with selling yourself, your abilities, your accomplishments, your skills, but also be comfortable with networking with others. So it does take time to overcome the shyness or whatever you want to call it. But once you get through it, you start building up more confidence in yourself to sell yourself and to network as well.
Already so impactful. I think it's a matter of getting yourself comfortable, isn't it? Because I think pre-pandemic I was a lot more extroverted, and I think that the pandemic and all the lockdowns kind of made me, I don't want to say like a complete recluse, but because we were forced to stay indoors. But I have been seeing that it's a lot more harder for me to kind of like have conversations. But as you said, networking is a dirty word, but it shouldn't be. And it's letting yourself or allowing yourself to get comfortable with selling yourself, because I think everyone does have like some sort of skill that they can like impart, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and for networking events, and now at least here in the US, things are opening up and there's more in-person events. My advice is, when you go to a networking event, bring a friend with you and say, today each of us are going to talk to 3 people or 5 people, and we can't leave until we talk to that amount, right? And you go on your own separate ways, right? You go talk to different people, and the next time maybe you go by yourself, or next time you say, I'm going to talk to 10 people, right? So you start increasing that goal, and then you do these conversations. You get a little better at sharing who you are, continuing the conversation, asking the right questions, you'll start getting better as you go along. So again, none of these things happen overnight, right? I didn't just start making videos. I didn't start posting content on LinkedIn overnight. It was going from a failure to building up confidence while introducing speakers and being holding that leadership role, right? So these things do take time to be more to become comfortable with them.
Yeah, I hear you on that, because I think that having like presentation skills, like itself, it is a skill, and skills can be learned. And as you said, it comes with practice and like going through it, over time, and you will get better at it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I do want to ask, like, but what do you think is an ideal working environment for introverts? Or like, do you see remote working as the ideal workplace for introverts, or do you have any hot takes on that? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as an introvert, you can succeed in any environment, right? A lot of it's on yourself, right? As I said earlier, you have to sell yourself, you have to network. You don't have to be 100% full extrovert. You don't have to go through every happy hour, to every company event, but you just have to show up, right? Because if you don't show up, if you don't sell your skills, no one knows you exist, right? If there's an opportunity that comes up, if there's an opportunity for a promotion or a different job, no one knows that you exist. You can do awesome work, but if only you know, or only your manager knows, then it doesn't help. So, I would say another thing is, when you're at work, make sure you have mentors or allies or managers or someone who can speak up for you, right? Maybe you're not comfortable selling yourself or just boasting about your skills. Have other people do it for you. Oh, Stephen did a great job on this analysis. She should get all the credit, right? Have people in that room, in the meeting room, that can vouch for you as well.
I've never thought of it that way. And that's an interesting take on it as well. Because I think that maybe for some people, they don't also like to grab credit. Maybe they're downplaying their skills, which is, I guess, a little sad, but because they should definitely be appreciated for their work, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So now I kind of want to ask, because you've already talked so much about, a lot of things, but as a career coach, what is the first thing you tell your clients when you're first trying to build up their confidence? Like, this is like the first time you're meeting them. Yeah.
Okay. If you don't mind, you want to be my example here?
Okay, sure.
Sure. So Bea, let me ask you, what do you lack confidence in doing? What's something that you just can't get yourself to do?
Oh, I feel so on the spot. Something that I feel that what did you say again?
Yeah, what's something that you lack confidence to do, or what's something like you're like, oh, I just can't do it. Like what's
I think that I have.
So let me come up with an example then.
Okay.
Have you put a video of yourself on LinkedIn?
What do you mean? Like,
have you like recorded yourself and put a video of yourself on LinkedIn before?
Not on LinkedIn per se, but on like other platforms, and I have done lives for work.
Okay.
Yeah. But
so why not LinkedIn?
I think that I think that I'm still learning about it. And I think that if I don't at least know a basic chunk of the foundation of what would work there, I get scared. And so I kind of keep holding myself back from, it's like I want to have an understanding first before I jump.
And I'm going to keep asking you questions, right, to get to the root answer here. So, I'm apologizing in advance.
Okay.
How do you know when you're ready? How do you know when you learned enough about LinkedIn?
It's ironic because I kind of already have an idea where this is going.
So exactly, right. So that's kind of the point where I'm trying to make is we have the most doubt in ourselves, right? We lack the most confidence in ourselves. Some people might believe in us, but we're like, no, I could never do that. So that's why this is why I keep asking those probing questions about what is preventing you from doing it. So maybe when people say, oh, I don't want to put a video on LinkedIn, I'm worried that no one's going to watch. Well, how do you know that? You never posted a video before. How do you know no one's going to watch? Right? Like, there's all these different self-doubts that I try to probe into when I work with my clients that really it's not that big of a deal. The worst thing that can happen when you post a video is no one says anything or no one likes it. But that's the same result as if you never put a video out there. But if you put that first video out there, you're like, wow, I actually did something. And then people start commenting, say, oh, great video, first time seeing you post. I have, I'm going to support you. Then you're going to start building up that confidence to post more and more and more. So that's why I wanted to use you as an example here. I didn't want to put you on the spot. I apologize for that. But it's just sort of, I just keep digging and probing to figure out it's really not that big of a deal, right? There's nothing to be scared of.
You really put me on the spot there, but don't worry. Don't apologize. I think it was good. And, I think other than, the self-doubt and partnered with that is the fear. Like I said, when you were asking me those things, I already had an idea where this is leading to. But you know what? You're also totally right about what's the big deal. I think that fear makes anything sort of bigger than it actually is. But again, like you said, what's the big deal? What's the point? I think the point is that you're trying and that you're doing it, right? And you're, like you said, just show up and putting yourself out there.
Yeah, so I was
not expecting, but yeah.
Yeah, that's why I asked, what's the worst thing that can happen? And the worst thing that can happen is the same thing, that's the same result as if you didn't do anything at all, right? It's like some people say, oh, I want to network and I want to, go work at this company, but I'm scared to respond, or I'm scared to connect with this vice president because they're busy and they're probably not going to respond. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? They don't respond. They're not going to blacklist you. They're not going to block you from applying to a company, right? Like it's just send a message and you never know what's going to happen.
That's very comforting, Stephen. That really is. Find myself laughing at myself. But yes, I very much echo and agree a lot of the things that you said. Now, I wanted to talk about, confidence as well. Do you think that confidence has something to do with overcoming being an introvert, or is there something more to it? I think you kind of touched a little bit on this.
Yeah. I think self-confidence is the biggest thing, right? And you don't really have to with the example with my videos. I said I'm going to do a 52-week challenge. When I started, I did not believe I was going to do a 52-week challenge, but I approach it as, okay, I'm going to do one video at a time. Yes, I have topics to talk about for the rest of the year. I just haven't recorded it. So as you go along, you need to believe in yourself, right? Don't worry about, am I going to reach that end goal? Just celebrate the little milestones, the little wins along the way. And that will really help you build up that confidence as you go along. When I started my videos, I had no idea I was going to be doing coaching or weekly LinkedIn lives or doing public speaking events, right? So you just got to start somewhere. And for example, I talk about the networking invest. Start small, set that goal, set these small goals for yourself and start achieving these things, and you start building up more confidence for yourself.
Yeah, I very much echo. I think I do find ironic from our conversation is that this also kind of feels like a coaching session already. Do you think? Because
it's free for you, so don't worry about it.
Thank you, Stephen. And I'm sure that everyone who's going to be listening and watching this will also be very grateful for all the insights and knowledge that you've already imparted. So I do want to kind of get into the technical of things, because obviously you have a full-time job. This is a side thing. So I can only imagine that your schedule is swamped. So how do you go about scheduling your coaching sessions with your clients?
Yeah, so when I was working full-time as a project manager, I had grad school so I got really, really good at time management. And what I did then, and the same thing I do now, is I block off time. And I only focus on one thing at a time. Before pandemic, after pandemic, it's the same thing. So if I'm working, either physically at work or working from home, I'm only focused on work. I don't do any coaching calls. I don't post on LinkedIn. I post first thing in the morning on LinkedIn after I wake up. So to get it out of the way. So I separate those things. And then the coaching calls, this interview, for example, my speaking events, they tend to happen after work hours or late in the afternoon, where it's not in the middle of the day where I have to break away and do things like that. I allocate weekends, and I only allocate half my weekends, only my mornings with coaching calls, right? Because I have my own life to do outside of work as well. So I really set boundaries of when I do coaching and when I work and do things like that. I'm pretty firm on those boundaries at work as well. So that allows me to do so many different things at the same time.
That's really good because, well, I think time management really is, no, I don't want to say that it's an underrated skill, but I think that it should be an essential skill that people really kind of like figure out how for themselves. So, yeah. So, Stephen, let's get down to the last, I guess, second to the last question, which is what do you think? What is the most important tip you have for introverts who want to break out of their shell? Like number one, numero uno.
Number one, I'll give you two. So
Okay.
um, we talked a lot about self-confidence. So you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself because no one's going to believe in you if you don't believe in yourself. How are you gonna? How is someone going to refer you for a job when you say, "Oh, I probably can't even qualify for this job"? They're not even going to refer you. So you got to believe in your abilities. That self-confidence is the biggest thing. And then the second thing, to build up that confidence, you just need to challenge yourself. Challenge yourself to do things and take that first step. So I challenged myself to do a video every single week. I did that from 2018 all the way to this year. In 2021, I said, I'm going to bring back a 52-week challenge, but instead of doing videos, which I've done already, I'm going to do a weekly LinkedIn live stream. So that had a whole nother dynamic around it where I had to go find guests. I had to do it live. If I screw up, I screw up. It's everyone sees it, right? But then it's a whole different dynamic. I challenged myself to run a half marathon. I did that in 2018. Last year, I challenged myself to do a different fitness goal. So I ran 100 miles in a month. I did 100 push-ups every single day for a month, 100 sit-ups every single day for a month. Now I'm doing 2,000 push-ups, sit-ups, and squats every single month. It just started from that. So just challenge yourself to do things, right? I'm learning a language right now. Well, I've been learning languages for the past few years. So challenge yourself to do things and do it for 30 days, right? Don't do it for like 2 days and just say it doesn't work. Do it for at least 2 weeks, do it for 30 days and see where it takes you, right? With my weekly videos, I was thinking about quitting after my first one or even after my fourth one, but I'm glad I kept going. So those are my two things. Believe in yourself and challenge yourself to try new things.
Wow, Stephen, that's really, really empowering and motivating, especially with as much as you've shared already about yourself and obviously all the things that you have overcome or like how you've built yourself up. Yeah. So we talked the whole to like in summary, because wow, how to summarize so many things. So yeah, for introverts into like trying to break out of their shell and to, like get kickstart themselves into a thriving career, two things really come to mind, which is to believe in yourself, as you said, and that to challenge yourself and to just keep going at it. But this is supported with the idea that, of course, like there's a lot of fear. But again, like Stephen said, what's the big deal? What's the big
What's the
deal?
worst that can happen?
Exactly. And I think it's overcoming that initial fear over and over again until you've practiced yourself into a level of comfort so that you can, like, obviously your challenges have gotten bigger and bigger over time, but the first thing really is to just take the first step and maybe get a coaching call from you.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy to help. So
Yeah. All right. So thank you so much, Stephen, for your wonderful, wonderful insights and helping out introverts in kickstarting a thriving career. And now let everyone know where we can find you and if you have anything going on that you would like to promote.
sure, absolutely. So you can find me on LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube. Stephen Helps You, one word. You can find me there. My website is stephenhelpsyoucoaching.com. So you can go there to find more information about my coaching services. You can book calls with me there directly as well. And yeah, I'm continuing with my 52-week challenge with LinkedIn Lives. Last year, I did 52 weeks straight through. I did like 7 or 8 while I was on vacation in a hotel room. But this year, it's just a little more casual, but I'm still continuing to do that. And yeah, if there's anyone that needs help with their career, whether it's stuff like resume, interviews, LinkedIn profiles, or you just need to build up more confidence in yourself, or you need some other types of help or need help finding opportunities, just reach out to me through LinkedIn or my website, stephenhelpsyoucoaching.com, and we'll start the conversation and we'll see where it takes us.
Thank you so much, Stephen. This has been such a great conversation. And for everyone who's listening or watching, please don't forget also to like and follow us, WeGrow VA, across all our socials. You can find us over at Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter. We have loads of great content for you guys over there. So just search for WeGrow VA. And of course, this interview will be up on YouTube and all of our socials. So again, thank you so much, Stephen, and for everyone who's watching and listening. Thank you, and until the next one. Bye.